Hi guys, this is Gary from theworkingdrummer.com, and today I wanted to talk to you about playing to a click. Now I feel that playing to a click is a necessary skill, and when I say playing to a click, I mean playing comfortably to a click. So I want to give you an exercise that has really helped me get more comfortable playing to a click on quarter notes. Now, in any real situation, be it recording or live, you're going to play to a click on either quarter notes or eighth notes, probably quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, etc., right? Well, we're going to displace the click. So what that means is we're going to hear the click in a different spot other than the downbeats. So the first step to that will be to hear the click on eighth notes. So I have the click at 75 beats per minute, which is slow. And I really think you need to do this slow because you actually have to play more precisely at a slow tempo. So I'm going to do this at 75 beats per minute, like I said, and we're going to hear the click on upbeats instead of downbeats. So it's going to go like this. Okay, so that's not that hard. It's pretty easy because we're all used to hearing, eighth notes and everything. But now we're going to take it to another level, and this is difficult. It's more difficult. I'm going to change the click to play eighth notes, but instead of playing to 1 and 2 and, we're going to be playing to 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. So it's a little more difficult, and that would go like this. Okay, so that's more difficult. And again, this is an exercise. You'd never actually do this on a gig. So it's just an exercise. Don't go crazy with this. You don't have to get it perfect. I didn't do that perfectly. That's okay. We're human. We're not machines, right? The idea, you play as precise as possibly. You make the micro adjustments you need to make. But the thing is, doing it this way, you actually have to supply the pulse for yourself, right? You're supplying the downbeat, the click is not. So you're not going to be depending on the click to feel those pulses. You have to do it. And also, it helps you become a lot more aware of the subdivisions within a quarter note, right? And that's super important as well. You begin to be able to feel them just as comfortably as you feel the downbeats. So there's a lot of benefits to this, I have to say. All right, so that's that. Now, I'm going to put the click back on quarter notes, and now we're going to move the click to the like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and etc. And we're going to try to play to that. This is hard. okay, that's really difficult. But if you do that, and then you go back to playing to the click on quarter notes, man, it's going to be so much easier and more comfortable for you. That's the point of this. Like, look, if I were to practice this a lot, like every day, probably in several months, I'd like master this thing. And to me, mastering this concept would be to be able to displace the click and play anything, right? Any lick, any groove, any pattern, anything. That's mastering it. Clearly, I haven't mastered it. But you know what? I don't care about mastering it. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to help me play more comfortably to a click, right? And I've definitely gotten comfortable playing to a click by doing this, and it really didn't take that long. So the idea to me isn't to like get to be amazingly good at this. Quite frankly, I don't think anybody gives a shit that you could do this at a really high level. This is to improve your time. This is to improve your ability to play to a click comfortably, period. Anyway, so now let's take it to yet another level, more difficult. We're going to put the click on the E of the beat, like this. Like that. Right, so, I mean, that's really hard. Again, well, whatever. I'm repeating myself, but it's important that you understand, I mean, if you want to get really good at this, that's fine. It's only going to help. But I just needed to get good enough so when I go back to playing to a click on quarter notes, it was super comfortable. And this did that for me, and I think it'll do it for you. Don't take my word for it. Try it. It's like, you know, when you lift weights, maybe in the beginning you can only bench press 100 pounds. You keep adding a little more weight incrementally. Then you go back to 100 pounds after a month or two of that, and it seems a lot lighter. Well, this is the same idea, right? You do something that's way more difficult, and then when you go back to playing quarter notes, it's way more comfortable. All right, a couple things now. You can take this to any level you want to. So, like you could play sort of a you know, hip hop shuffly type thing. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to put the click back on playing the of the beat, but we're going to move it slightly toward the downbeat. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so that's sort of a halftime shuffle. Now we can do like a slow shuffle. You move that. Let me just play it. It's hard to describe, but you'll hear it. right? So you can play around with moving that click slightly to get different feels. So it's really cool. I mean, like, this is a lot of fun for me. Maybe you won't think so, but you know, it's very challenging. And again, like, okay, I know I'm repeating myself. This is probably the third time I've said this, but this is an exercise. This isn't something, like, it's not a musical thing, right? It's bizarre. Nobody hears a click this way, right? Like, if you were, I mean, what I mean by that is, like, the listening audience, they're used to hearing a pulse. The pulse is everything for a drummer. You have to be able to convey that pulse to your audience. That's what they feel. They don't know what you're playing, and quite frankly, they could give a shit. They don't care about your licks. They don't care how fast you can play, unless you're doing a drum solo or something and want to show off. But for the most part, your job as a drummer, at least if you want to work, is to make the music feel good. And since so much music these days requires playing to a click, it's important, it's incumbent upon you to be able to play to a click comfortably. That makes the music feel good to the audience. Practice it this way, and then when you go back to playing to quarter notes, it'll be a lot more comfortable. That's what I'm saying. Don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. All right, I hope that this has inspired you in some way. Leave any comments below if you'd like. Once again, this is Gary from theworkingdrummer.com. I'll see you guys next time.